The Spin-off Podcast Network.
A Liberty Seguros agora é Yellow. Tudo aquilo que já era bom continua igual. Excelência e proximidade permanecem como nossa essência. Porque não é uma mudança, é uma evolução. A Yellow está sempre em sintonia com você. É liberdade com segurança. A melhor experiência acessível a todos os clientes, iluminando cada passo da sua jornada. Deixe essa luz iluminar seu caminho. Yellow Seguradora. Seguro para viver livre. Consulte seu corretor.
17 years ago, Sarah Sheriff sat in a Whistler cafe on a mission to spot just one icebreaker jacket in the crowd. Today, they're everywhere. But for New Zealand brands like Icebreaker, Whitakers and Fix and Fog, going global took more than just great innovation and good luck. The right market can mean success, the wrong one can waste time, money and momentum. Right now on The Spin-off, Joel McManus looks at what it takes to get it right and how New Zealand Trade and Enterprise can help your brand reach the world. Read the full story at thespinoff.co.nz/export. Does your brand have something important to say through meaningful messaging that reaches the right audience? At The Spin-off, we work closely with our partners to create bespoke campaigns that bring value to both your brand and our audience. If you're interested in learning more about partnering with us, email Beck, that's BEC, at thespinoff.co.nz.
Kia ora koutou katoa, nau mai, haere mai. Welcome to the Spin-off Live at Q Theatre. Please put your hands together for your host this evening, Spin-off senior writer, Alex Casey.
Kia ora koutou, welcome to Best TV Show Ever at Q Theatre. Thank you to everyone for coming tonight. I know there was a lot of... I've just seen Batman. I know there was a lot of different things. Thank you to Travis Scott, of course, for rescheduling his show, understanding we couldn't have a clash with this event. So yes, thank you for coming to this it's a live podcast / TED Talk / Halloween party for people who do not have children. My name is Alex Casey. I'll be your host this Halloween night. Thank you to the one person that dressed up. No, two. We've got a couple. Mad Chapman. Indiscernible costume. We love it. Much like Kim Kardashian wearing Marilyn Monroe's dress to the Met Gala, I am in Props Boy's actual t-shirt right now. I know. Thank you. They're on holiday in Italy right now. They do know that I'm wearing it, but it was just so I could live out my fantasy of finally being a teleop. So you've reached what now? So hopefully you're all kind of aware why we're here. Last week, the Spin-off counted down the top 100 local TV shows of the 21st century, and it culminated in a kind of incredible top 20, really big top 3 for Rob and Malcolm. We had After the Party coming in third, Outrageous Fortune second, and of course Shortland Street first. Please give it up for our winners and Rob and Malcolm. Thank you. Unfortunately, there will be no Rob and Malcolm tonight. This event is about celebrating the shows that didn't take out those coveted top spots, or actually didn't make the list at all in some instances. Some of them were disqualified for being international formats. Some were current affairs, which we also didn't consider, and some we truly just plain forgot about. So look forward to that. So what's going to happen tonight is we've got a panel of TV fanatics who are going to get up over there and do a little janky PowerPoint arguing their case for their favourite local TV show of all time. At the very end, we're going to deem a new winner of the whole thing. We're just throwing it all out the window. And the winner is going to receive, the cornies will like this, thanks for coming, this stainless steel rose. Who knows the significance of this? Thank you, 2 people. So this was handcrafted by Quinn from The Bachelorette Season 1, given to Lucina on the red carpet. It didn't work out between them, so we have it now. So we'll give it to the winner, but we also do need it back after the show. So without further ado, let's just get into introducing our panel. Okay, they're waiting in the wings, very excited. First up, she is the Spin-off's newest staff writer. She is a former TVNZ staffer who worked on Breakfast, Te Karere and One News. But most importantly, she was on What Now for 5 seconds when she was 8. Please welcome Lyric Wairiri Smith. Thank you, Lyric. That's 4 people in costume now. Up next, we have a comedian, actor, writer, and presenter. You may recognise her from this year's home renovation juggernaut, My Dream Green Home, as well as 7 Sharp, 7 Days, and likely more shows that start with 7. Welcome, Rhianna McCall! Next up, we have arguably actually our most consistent on-screen personality of the night. Almost every morning, you will see his face popping up on your screens as editor of the Spin-Off's daily news wrap-up, The Bulletin. Please welcome Stuart Simon Lund. We have not cleared this music with X Factor. And last but not least, we have a Billy T Award-winning comedian and actor who has starred in Shortland Street, Educators, Double Parked, and coming to the Spin-Off in 2025, Brennan Koo's Singles Club. It's Kura Forrester! This is so exciting. Hi, everyone. So before we get into it, we need to have a little chat about the Top 100, because we were talking before. There's a lot of opinions. You were all reading it. I mean, how did you do? You could go through and check off how many shows you had seen. What was your total? Anyone want to share?
I think I had like 29 out of 100.
Ooh, okay. Can anyone do better than that? No.
Very much worse.
I haven't done the official check-off, but I think somewhere around 20 to 30, yeah.
I mean, you are in 20 to 30 of the shows, so.
That's true, yeah. I love that one, yeah.
What about, did anyone else do better than 29? How many? Ooh, okay, what have we got? 55! Wow. Can anyone do better than 55? 55? You're the same. Okay, great. So we've all got lots of work to do, clearly. 70-something, Tamar! Wow. That's not fair. Tamar worked on all of them. Okay, well, were there any shows that jumped out to you as you were reading through? Any gems from your childhood or nostalgia trips?
I love Brotown.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm sad it's not still on TV.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Cult, for me, I was like, The Cult! I'd completely forgotten about that. It's culty. It's got like...
You haven't seen
it's like
it.
Gareth Reeves and White, but there's some really hot actors in it.
It was massive.
Yeah.
And I wrote the blurb for this, so I remember. First show in New Zealand to be shot on red cameras, like the fancy Tamar knows. What about you guys? Because you're slightly younger as well. Were there any other shows that jumped out to you?
All the ones I'd never heard before.
Okay, so you got an education.
Yeah, totally, because they all were on telly in the early 2000s.
And what year were you born, Lyric?
2000.
Yeah, there was like a whole world of TV that I'd never heard of, including like things that I feel like I would really like, political satires from 2002, and I'm like, I feel like I need to find the archive and watch this.
Some of them were just at the wrong time, you know?
Bring them back.
Yeah.
But then also all the news and current affairs that we couldn't put on the list. I mean,
Yes.
that's crazy, but you know.
But Fair Goer's on there.
This was
I'm just saying.
I'm sorry.
I'm just saying.
It's not current affairs.
It's current. It has affairs.
It does have affairs. But also, we were reminded, like, Fair Go kind of had all this entertainment-y stuff. It had the ad awards, you know, it had this sort of magazine style. And Fair Go is kind of in its own universe. Is where we kind of ended up. They call themselves Consumer Affairs.
I had an uncle that got on Fair Go once. And my whānau WhatsApp group popped off. Because all the cousins were like, you're not going to believe this, but Uncle James wrote into Fair Go about the ladder. You know the ladder with 27 different ways to get up the ladder? He bought that, and it doesn't have the middle thing. And that's part of it if you watch closely. And he went to Fair Go, and they went all the way to Tokomaru Bay on the East Coast, Fair Go. and interviewed him, and he was like, yeah, it's a travesty. Like,
Well, that was where you put your cup of tea, right? That was the thing they sold
exactly.
it on.
And the quality, yeah. But apparently it's not included, so if you take home anything tonight, that's my tidbit.
Okay, great. Well, there's going to be many more tidbits to come. I think we're going to start the presentations now, and there's no easy way to do this. First up is me.
Give it up for Alex Casey!
Show. I know. It's time to get serious. Okay. It's June 2003. 50 Cent's Into Club is the #1 song in the country. The Sharp GX10i is the hottest new flip phone that $999 can buy. Peter Jackson is putting his finishing digital effects on Lord of the Ring, Sorry, I'll start again. This is a podcast. Peter Jackson is putting his finishing digital effects on Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, and I am similarly breaking important technological ground with this pair of sunglasses that also holds a chubba chub. That's me in 2003. Reality television in New Zealand was also innovating, just like me. Colonial House saw a family live like English immigrants from 1852 for some reason. Going Straight challenged contestants to move in a straight line, no matter what obstacle was in the way, to win $10,000. I found another show simply called The Fence, with the tagline, "Which side are you on?" But none of these high-concept, batshit crazy ideas come even close to the greatest forgotten local reality competition of all time. Finding Jay Smith. Okay, I can't see anything, but do people remember this? Okay, a few people, great. Okay, so put simply, Finding Jay Smith was the most ambitious cell phone-related experiment ever committed to the silver screen. Teams were tasked with tracking down as many of the 3,000 people called Jay Smith living in New Zealand at the time. But one of the Jay Smiths held the key to the $250,000 prize pool, which was also the biggest prize on a New Zealand television show at that time. Crazy. So I'll let Eric Young was the host, the live studio host, and I will let him explain the extremely simple rules.
2 of the 3 teams were on their way with the task of each finding at least 3 Jay Smiths a day, each worth $500. Well, their next priority is getting to that mystery Pix location in time for our live show each Tuesday night. Miss that rendezvous and it costs the teams dearly, $5,000 in fact. Add to that the weekly pressure of the team controllers battle to hold on to the team's cash, and you could say that the next 8 weeks are going to be a very tough challenge.
8 weeks. And I don't know about you, I've already forgotten all those rules because my brain has been rotted by smartphones and there's just too much to remember there. But speaking of smartphones, Dominic Bowden was the roving reporter who followed the teams around and blessed them with the newest mobile technology that money could buy.
Shall I do the honours?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Each contestant has a mobile phone and the latest Vodafone Live technology, which will allow them to send not only text messages, but pictures and emails from their phones.
Now, in the inbox, you'll find a Pix message with an image of where you guys need to be by Tuesday night, okay? So now it's over to you. Good luck finding Jay Smith.
Here. So there was all these random Jay Smiths everywhere, but then there was another Jay Smith with their face blanked out at a certain location they had to get to by a certain time. If they saw a Jay Smith, they had to take a photo of them on it, and I looked at the specs, a 120 by 160 pixel photography phone, and then they had to head to the next location that Dom Bowden had picked for them. And then when they got to the location, Dominic Bowden would again make them do this sort of Where's Wally Jay Smith, find a Jay Smith in a haystack type of challenge.
Now, guys, one of these people here is Jay Smith. I want you to take a look at them, take a look at their faces, and please tell me which one you think is called Jay Smith.
We reckon the one wearing the visor for sure.
The visor, okay,
For sure?
Well, let's go and check it out. All right, hello miss, how are you?
Hello, very good, thank you.
Now, what is your name?
I'm afraid it's Penny.
Penny! I'm afraid, Team Tapahu, we're going to have to move on to Team Murphys. You guys got the next most Jay Smiths this week, so you get to go next. Take a look at them. Look at them long and hard because it's $5,000 staring back at you. Which one do you think is called Jay Smith?
This guy over here.
Okay, well, let's check it out. What is your name, sir?
Fred, it's Dave.
Oh, I'm sorry, Team Murphy, it's Dave. So we go over to Team Watson. Now you guys need this. $5,000. Have a look at their faces.
Yeah, right there. That one there.
The girl right here?
Girl with the glasses.
Girl with the glasses. Okay, let's check it out. What is your name, miss?
My name is Garrett.
Garrett, I'm sorry.
Goes on and
guys.
on.
Okay, we go back to the top. Team Tapahu, what do you think?
We think it's the guy directly behind the lady with the glasses.
Oh, mate, with the goatee.
The one
With-
that's hide from us.
With the goatee. Well, let's check it out. Okay. Inside here, please. Hello. What is your name, sir?
My name is Justin Smith.
Justin, well, you just won Team Tapahu $5,000. Well,
Amazing. Okay, so along with, meeting all these Jay Smith characters, the teams themselves also had quite amazing dynamics. There were a lot of family teams, including the Watsons, whose only male member had some pretty progressive thinking for the time.
Listen to me, stick close together, and I'll allow you to say what you want to say, and I'll make the decision, okay?
8 weeks with 3 women, that's going to be a real test, probably a major test, because women have these sort of ups and downs, don't they? I've thought about that quite a bit, and I'm not going to be by it.
Love it. So along with highlighting the struggles of men forced to spend time with women, Finding Jay Smith also shone a light on many of the daily hurdles faced by the 3,000 people living across the Motu with such a common name.
Jay Smith, sometimes it can be a nightmare, Jill. For example, whenever my car breaks down and I haven't got my AA card on me, and I ring up, they go, who? I go, Jay Smith, just creates havoc. Yes, what happens is I get everyone speeding tickets and I continually have to ring the traffic department telling them they are not my tickets. I do not own a yellow Vauxhall. If you own a yellow Vauxhall, pay your own traffic fines.
That's great. But the show was also a beautiful reflection of what life was like when this sort of technology was still such a novelty. This was what the internet looked like in 2003. This was the Finding Jay. Thank you to the Wayback Machine for digging this up. In 2003, the internet looked like this. You could email TV2 on tv2.nzoom.com, and Pixton cost 50 cents a picture. But also, most importantly, people still had hobbies. People had hobbies that involved more than being hunched over a small screen, growing an even smaller horn in the back of their neck. For example, here's Jackie. Her passion is flying. But there were so many more. I listed them all. Snowboarding, paragliding, adventure sports, kung fu, horse riding, fishing, singing, netball and my 2 girls, rugby and my 2 girls. Those last 2 were husband and wife. And as for me and my hobbies now, last week my average screen time was longer than the Return of the King director's cut, twice over. Researchers found a quarter of us check our phones more than 50 times per day. That's once every 20 minutes. You got to wonder, how many Jay Smiths are we letting walk past us every day? The show is also, it's such a reminder of life without phones. There was this scene where Team Murphy, they broke another of Eric Young's incomprehensible rules, and they were stranded for the night in Wellington, unable to catch the ferry to Picton, and they didn't have any money. And Jodie's beside herself. She says, there's no leisure activities that we can do. We're bored. We're absolutely bored. These days the Murphys would have spent the rest of the night in silence, dead-eyed, scrolling their phones. But this was 2003, so they had no choice but to continue the noble hunt for Jay Smiths well into the night, and they got a few more under their belt. And although, after Jay Smith, we'd go on to have lots more iconic reality moments like Murphy versus Lummis and Chris Parker winning CTI, there was no other show that traversed the nooks and crannies of the whole country and got everyone involved quite like Finding Jay Smith. It was a one-season novelty, but it was also a utopian vision of how technology could bring our communities together rather than push us all apart. It was a reminder that we have more in common than we think, even if that thing is just proximity to someone called Jay Smith.
You know a Jay Smith?
Yeah.
Excellent. Do you know a Jay Smith, by any chance?
I do.
You do? Excellent, yeah.
My name is James Smith and I come from Martin and I pledge my allegiance to Team Murphy.
Yay! And after their initial missed ferry mishap, Team Murphy would actually go on to take out the entire show, finding the ultimate Jay Smith and winning the biggest cash prize in New Zealand television history. And I think there's a real lesson there. Resilience, resourcefulness, and hashtag looking up. Or perhaps should I say, looking in. Because although the ultimate Jay Smith was revealed to be Jenny Smith, 32, from Taihape, perhaps if we just all put our phones down, we'd finally realise the true message of this show. The real Jay Smith was inside us all along. Thank you.
Bring it back.
That was incredible.
Who remembers it? Who remembered it?
I've never heard of it in my life.
They just don't make television like that anymore, do they?
And what I didn't even get to put in the presentation because of time, and I haven't even looked at the time, but there was like the chase kind of element where people could ring in and compete against each team's controller in the studio, like on trivia questions, and take prize money away from them. It was so complicated.
What time slot did this have?
So it also, I think it had, Eric Young alludes to like a Thursday night check-in. So I think there was multiple nights. There was a Tuesday 7:30 kind of slot, and then they did an update.
And some of that looked live.
Yeah, it was live.
It was live.
That
is, I mean, you also don't get a lot of that these days on reality TV.
It's absolutely crazy. But yes, thank you all for listening. I think it's time for the next person.
It was really, really good.
Thanks.
Too good.
That's why
Can you win the competition when you're the host? That feels
What's that?
like...
I just need to find my notes. Hold on,
What would the technology be now if we were to bring that show back? What would they...
Facebook stalk for all the Jay Smiths.
You would find them all in 1 second.
Slip into their DMs.
Yeah. It would be over. It would be over. Okay. I'm sorry, I've written a little line, so I had to find it because I thought about it. Because we're not actually done with Smiths yet. Because presenting next is our own Lyric Wairiri Smith. Huge round of applause for Lyric.
Hi, I'm Lyric, and I'm here today to talk about the one homegrown television show that truly gripped me when I was a child. I remember being 8 years old, watching it after dinner with my dad, and just being amazed at the expertise of the cast, the way they juggled so many storylines, the fact it seemed to bring so many New Zealanders together, and the way it stayed refreshing and relatable every night. But unfortunately, this show appears nowhere on the Spin-Off's Top 100. Despite being included in the voting rounds, the powers that be decided to strike it off for consideration for some perhaps petty reasons. I quote the Spin-Off senior staff writer, Miss Alex Casey, in her introductory post for the Top 100. We decided to take current affairs off the table too. Despite us holding a day-long online wake for Campbell Live back in 2015, it simply felt too tense to compare news products. And frankly, the genre has been through enough this year. Alex and the Spin-Off might have been too afraid to compare news products, but I am not. My best ever local television show is Campbell Live, and speaks for itself. And honestly, I stand 10 toes down on the fact that if we allowed Campbell Live into the top 100, it would have come number one, if not broken the top 5. I mean, we let Fear go onto the list. Is that not a news product? Is that not made by journalists? And by the way, I don't know, I just kind of feel like maybe there's a conspiracy going on here, like maybe the cult of Campbell Live threatens people. And I also don't think I've ever seen Mark Jennings and Alex Casey in the same room, which makes me very suspicious. And let me also say, I would know what good news looks like because I do it on the daily. And for the Spin-Off, arguably New Zealand's best news website. So by that metric, I am the best judge of all of this. And that's me at my desk. And if you look in the background, I've got my sticker chart, so I'm a very, very productive employee. Campbell Live launched in 2005, helmed by New Zealand's most marvellous man, John Campbell, who was then most famous for being a TV3 news anchor, a regular Brotown voice actor, and the guy behind Corngate, which I don't have time to get into. The show shed light on so many topics. They covered the Pike River disaster, they covered the Christchurch earthquakes, but they also intensely investigated things such as synthetic cannabis and zero-hour contracts. And both of those things were banned, synthetic cannabis, K2 specifically, while Campbell Live was still on air, and then zero-hour contracts a year after Campbell Live went off air. So these stories had a real effect on our legislation. There was also that time they let their cameraman drink 12 beers to test the drink driving laws at the time, and at the time he was allowed to drive legally. Those laws have changed now. Maybe it's a stretch to say that Campbell Live is responsible for all of this, but it certainly predated these changes. And it also, dare I say, inspired another generation of equally talented journalists who are asking the hard questions and speaking truth to power and all that shit we do. But I feel like there is one story that will always truly define Campbell Live. It was a worldwide exclusive that no one saw coming, not John, not Campbell Live producer Pip Keen. In 2012, Campbell Live reporter Tristram Clayton uncovered innovations of major proportions taking place in the motor vehicle industry.
But first, because it's the end of a tough year for many people, and sometimes we simply need cheering up, we head to Kart Sport in Auckland's Avondale. It's a go-kart track where two dogs, yes, the dogs, are preparing to drive solo for the first time anywhere in the world. I'm not entirely convinced the dogs have a clue what's going on, but this is a story that's travelled as far and wide as any other New Zealand story we can remember this year.
Blake. He's in gear, he's in gear. Here we go, oh my god. We are off. It started back.
Good
We put the...
boy. Ready?
Put it...
Set.
Where's he go?
Set.
Give him a sit, give him a
Set.
sit, give him a sit.
Turn. Ready? Turn. Turn. Come on. Turn. 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 Hold on. Turn. 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 Turn.
Some pretty incredible investigative work, right? As a journalist, you kind of fantasize about breaking your own Watergate, but I feel like for every New Zealand reporter, they want their own driving dog banger. And now you can understand what's going on here. I called Tristram, the reporter who looks insanely startled in that clip, and he walked me through how the whole story unfolded from this sort of dodgy PR email to seeing the dogs get adopted and then trained and then put on the racecourse and put on the telly. So he was on for the ride quite literally and metaphorically. And he told me he remains very proud of the stories he made for Campbell Live, which the reporters and producers called C Live. Whether it was the driving dogs or investigating the dangers of synthetic cannabis, he says Campbell Live was able to pull together New Zealanders of all stripes on the issues that mattered, and you'd be hard-pressed to find a new show like that these days. I also asked John if he had anything to say, but he was really busy. Too busy to talk to me, even though we talked on the phone for 20 minutes about the value of not leaving journalism. So I got something out of it, but I don't have a quote for you guys. I do have a photo of us looking a bit geeked, though. But as the saying goes, you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become a villain. And in 2015, Campbell Live died a hero. It was just a few weeks after the show celebrated its 10-year anniversary. MediaWorks had announced in April that year that the show was under review because its ratings had dropped and the television bosses reckoned audiences wanted shorter stories. But the thing is, Campbell Live had better ratings than The Block. Some nights it had better ratings than the bloody 6 p.m. bulletin. It didn't have better ratings than X Factor and Zed, but that's because they were having the Willie Moon and Natalia Kills thing that year. And also that show got taken off TV3 too, so I don't know. And to add insult to injury, Campbell Live's ending was announced at the same time as the budget. While Bill English was telling us about the end of the KiwiSaver Quick Start, we were also learning that we'd no longer see Campbell Live. Tell me, what do you think is more newsworthy? What affects you more? The budget or Campbell Live? I don't think it's Bill English. So there was a whole Save Campbell Live campaign, and as I mentioned earlier, the spin-off hosted its own online wake, and when I went back to look at the article, it literally just wouldn't load on my laptop because there was so many tweets embedded in there, and GIFs and memes and videos and poems and haikus and songs that people had written about Campbell Live. So like the cult is there, it's just, a little out there in how they express it. And in the time since Campbell Live's collapse, we've lost many brave soldiers. Too many to name, so here's some photos, and you can sing in your head whatever funeral song feels suitable. I'm singing Anchor Me. And so now, to wrap up my argument, I leave you with this sentiment. Thank you.
Amazing lyric. Wow. I remember that day, that wake. You remember that live blog? It just went on and on. People made fan art. And then, John Campbell was back somewhere else, not that long after. But very moving, very compelling.
Thank you.
What do you remember, Stuart? You would have been an aspiring young journalist at that point?
I think it was my first year at News Hub. People were marching in the streets for John Campbell.
What?
And there was
As they should.
And then there was that there was a huge crowd outside the Flower Street studios, and then from memory, sort of John went out to kind of meet the procession that marched with their banners. I think it popped up on my Facebook the other day that I'm pretty sure I still follow the Facebook page Save Campbell Live, which has thousands of people.
Thousands of people wanted that show to stay on air. Thousands.
And Lyric is the moderator of that page. Okay, look, I'm conscious of time. We have to clip on, and I've written a special thing. It's a good segue. Okay. Okay. So from one 7 p.m. icon to another, it's time to welcome to the stage 7 Sharps, Rhiannon McCall.
And it makes no difference if you're going near or far.
Sick walk-on song. Sorry, I'm just getting a clock up. Otherwise, I genuinely will never stop talking. I also realised I fully should have done 7 Sharp. Sorry, Jeremy and Hillary. Okay, too late now. Right-o, here we go. Okay. I'm just also going to kind of do a description for any podcast listeners who perhaps are missing some of the more visual cues. Okay, so silence creating anticipation.
Come on, let's open outdoors with Jet, make the best of time. But you can't have out fishing under the sun. But even if it rains and all our hands are fun.
Come on, let's go outdoors.
With Jeff.
Ladies and gentlemen and gentlethems, what you have just witnessed is the single greatest theme song ever in television history. Okay? That there is Outdoors with Jeff. Make some noise if you've seen Outdoors with Jeff before. Okay, yes. A couple of Jeff heads in the crowd. Make some noise if you've never seen or never heard of Outdoors with Jeff before. Okay, a couple. Would you like to take a guess? It's called Outdoors with Jeff. What do you think that this show is about? Oh, you betcha. It is about fishing, it is about hunting, it is about celebrating the beautiful landscapes of New Zealand, Aotearoa. Let me give you a little bit of background about the host, Jeff Thomas, if you do not know. Jeff started with a background in journalism and a passion for the outdoors. He started broadcasting in the 1980s. He made a TV show called Fishing Down Under. Sounds fun, sign me up. And then he went on to make even more fishing videos. His next lot of videos were called Snapper Secrets. Okay, also sounds fun, sign me up. And then he started Outdoors with Jeff in 2003, and he finished in 2016. Outdoors with Jeff ran for 17 seasons. What? Okay, and look, I know you can't compare apples with pears, but Outrageous Fortune only ran for 6 at Alex Casey. So what I'm going to run you guys through with my little presentation is the reasons why you should consider Outdoors with Jeff to, at the very least, be in the top 100. It wasn't even included in the top 100, and at the very most, be number 1, move over Robin Malcolm. Okay. Sorry, so we've just gone through who is Jeff. That's him. And for the podcast listeners, my slideshow is a picture of Jeff holding a big, beautiful red snapper. He's happy as anything. And it says, who is Jeff Thomas? And it's got a little thinking emoji. Okay. So reason number 1 we've already covered. It has an incredible theme song. If you've forgotten, it goes a little something like this.
Let's go get outdoors with Jeff.
Yes, feel free to sing along. Come on. Let's go. Outdoors with Jeff. That's the one. Give it up for Outdoors with Jeff. At the end of this clip, a few seconds later, it says brought to you by Rheem, which is the shower brand. If you don't know what Rheem is, there's a reason, and it's because Outdoors with Jeff is no longer on TV. Okay, so another reason why you should consider Outdoors with Jeff is because Outdoors with Jeff is wholesome as hell, okay? It is about hunting and fishing, which I know is like a little bit, did we get a boo for hunting and fishing? The vegan sector, okay. I tell you what, I'm sure this lovely white man in his 80s would have a couple of bloody things to say about your vegan sector, sir. I'm sure he'd have a few opinions about the vegan sector. But Outdoors with Jeff, it was really wholesome, and I would love to refer you to the Outdoors with Jeff Wikipedia page. It says, Outdoors with Jeff is a New Zealand television show focusing on outdoor activities and adventure sports, hosted by Jeff Thomas, premiering in 2003, blah, 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 blah. Then it says, this show is with a focus on making the best of time that Jeff's got left. Hunting and fishing under the sun, but even if it rains, Jeff's gonna have some fun. I'm sorry. I don't care about what your sexuality is, vegan or not, that's beautiful. That is stunning. Okay. Another reason why Outdoors with Jeff should be number 1, Jeff Thomas is an eco-warrior. Okay, so I'm sorry, don't look at the big dead animal. He's an eco-warrior. He's fishing and hunting, but I would love to read you a little quote from an article that Jeff did only a few years ago after Outdoors with Jeff finished. I'll try and do it in an impression of him. The obvious change is in abundance. Fish are disappearing everywhere. The trouble is the baseline shifts with each generation. People judge the abundance of fish based on their own experience, but catches that are normal for young fishers today would have been judged poor by previous generations fishing in more abundant seas. Okay? Jeff also says, with good management, abundant stocks are possible, but we have to put the fishery first, not the commercial and recreational fishing interest. Eco King. My vegan king, Are you convinced? No. Okay. For podcast listeners, he, with his hand, he did that so kind of gesture. With his face, he said, fuck no. Okay. So, now, Outdoors with Jeff, he's an eco king. Oh, sorry, guys. I've actually forgotten what this video is, but I'm sure it's fine. I'm just going to play it.
These dudes come down in the hot
Oh,
water.
he's fishing. He's catching a mahi-mahi.
22 degrees plus, or pretty warm water, because they're really tropical fish. But we're more than turning up in our water. It's a good thing for global warming, eh?
Sorry, guys. That wasn't meant to be in there. Just ignore that. Okay, Jeff Thomas, Eco King. Righto. The next thing you need to know about Jeff is he is a trailblazer. For the podcast listeners, in this slideshow, Jeff is holding two snappers. I'm guessing with his index and middle finger, like he's fingering two beautiful ladies. And I've included a fire emoji because he is blazing trails. Okay. Oh yes, and the proof of Jeff being a trailblazer is that Jeff Thomas is allegedly, the first man to ever take a photo with dead animals for clout. There he is. I don't know if Jeff was, actually I do know he was married and then his wife passed away. I don't think he's been on any dating apps, but he's prepared if he ever wants to. Hey Jeff, plenty more fish in the sea. Sorry, I regret saying that. Okay. You can delete that out of the podcast. Righto. Another reason you should consider Jeff Thomas is because Jeff celebrates the journeys, not the wins, okay? You might think that with hunting and fishing it is about, how am I going for time? Oh, fuck, I've got 45 seconds. Okay, you might think with hunting and fishing it's about the prize at the end. Jeff celebrates the climb. So here he's trying to catch a bronze whaler shark, which is a huge, huge fish.
Back of the boat.
Here he goes. Good luck, Jeff. Okay, so he fully doesn't catch the fish, but then presents basically a title card of the fish with the hook in its mouth as if he did catch it. Because for Jeff, it is about the journey, not the end result. Moving swiftly along. Jeff is very memeable. He's a meme lord. And I refer you to this Outdoors with Jeff video. This is not Jeff himself, but one of his friends of Jeff. They are bringing in a huge kingfish. So young Josh is reeling in a heavy fish.
First time it looks like he's a decent fish. So we've got the net ready. Oh, he's a good fish. He's a bloody beauty. Colour. Give me a knife. Go in. It's a horse. We have a horse.
Sorry, it's a horse? We have a horse. It's the funniest thing I've ever heard and I think could really easily be made into a meme. I mean, that man was happy, and I understand when you have an unexpected horse, it's always a gift. Righto. Sorry, I'm not a journalist, I'm a comedian, so just get on board, guys. Right, okay. So, Jeff has a great sense of humour, and I refer you to one more clip. This clip is from Jono's new show. It used to be at 8:30 p.m. on a Monday on C4 RIP.
Jeff, I'm bored. Hang on, mate. How long are we going to stand here? We've been here for half an hour. What are you? We're standing behind a bush.
Hang on, John. It takes time, mate. Yeah, hey, here comes a good one, mate. Here comes a good one.
Here we go. What are you looking at? Huh?
Here we go, mate.
But I told you about this fucking thing away.
Hang on. Got the bastard. Yes.
Oh, Christ.
Just there, mate. Right in the ass.
Good shot. Is he dead or what?
No. We just put him to sleep. He'll wake up in here. Come on. We'll just piss off for a bit and go get a coffee, mate.
Get a coffee?
He'll be right. What's this, Jono? What's this, mate? Oh, it's hard case, man. Gets me every time, eh? Fucking hard case. Look at what a fuckwit. Goes for a run and gets shot in the arse.
Well, he's probably just Probably didn't expect to anyway, but can I have a go, mate? Was it quite what I did just bloody...
Yeah. Just like that. Oh, bloody hell, John.
Jeff.
Yeah, that's fucking going numb.
Oh,
Another fuck with, eh? Place is full of them.
Oh, Christ, Jeff. Oh, it's going to the top half of my body, Jeff.
Don't worry about Johnny, mate.
Christ.
It's only starting, mate. It's only the beginning. Oh, you'll be right, Charlie. Just, I'll tell you what, you stay there. I'll go and get the truck. Looks like I'm driving again.
Outdoors. With Jeff.
Okay. I hope that it is true that Jeff does have a good sense of humour. I think I've never heard so many fuckwits said at 8:30 p.m. on television. You would never get away with that now. If you want to know about what Jeff is up to now, he is currently 76 years old. He lives on Lake Tarawera. He loves fishing still. He's got 5 children and 5 grandchildren. Jeff is a cancer survivor. He is a broadcasting legend. I used to watch Outdoors with Jeff every Saturday with my dad. My dad used to make me watch it, potentially because his name is also Jeff, but he loves fishing, and me and Dad used to always watch it, and I used to be like, oh, I don't want to watch Outdoors with Jeff again, but then I actually grew to love it. I do genuinely love Jeff Thomas, and I'm going to leave you with one last clip of Jeff. He's also a really staunch advocate for Rotorua. He loves it there, and so this is the most recent clip that I found of him. Please enjoy. It's not funny, it's just nice.
The deacon, as he was called, said, you guys come up, I'll show you how we cook fish the Māori way. Fish, so you got any beers on board? So, yeah, I've got some beers. Oh, I'll bring those up too. And deacon, have a look and see how many beers were in the crate, and he'd put about 3 concrete blocks on each side of the fire, and as the beers went down, he'd take a block off, and then by the time the beers were done, the fish was cooked. Then he'd put the trout on the bread and butter and say, that's how we eat trout in Rotorua. And that's the greatest trout you'll ever eat. Rotorua is where my heart is now, that's where my spirit is. And I'll be at Tarawera right till the end. My name's Jeff Thomas, and you may know me from Outdoors with Jeff, and that's my story.
Give it up for Jeff Thomas! Thank you.
Unbelievably beautiful. I'm very moved by that. I can't help but ask the question, you were in Rotorua this weekend, right?
Yeah, boss.
Were you visiting Jeff?
No, I did try to get hold of Jeff. So I tracked him down through the New Zealand marine fishing website, and I managed to get hold of his son. I got hold of Jeff, but Jeff was in Auckland this weekend, and he, didn't really call me back. But his son told me he was in Auckland. I did, wow. Yeah. I still love him. If you're listening, Jeff, I'm still open for coffee or a fish.
And he's here tonight.
Okay, look, we have to press on, and I've written a nice little segue. I'm going to keep saying that. So I'd now like to welcome the Outdoors with Jeff of the newsletter world. Reeling in fresh scoops to your inbox every morning. It's Stuart Simon Lund.
And can I just say, Alex Casey, that I am feeling quite a lot of pressure being put in between the 2 comedians, and I would like you guys to bear that in mind when it comes time to vote on the best show. But for those who don't know me, I'm Stuart, I'm a writer at The Spin-Off, and though my day job tends to involve writing about politics or the news, I promise that I'm also a big fan of television, and I'm not just here tonight to bring up the diversity quota. I could easily have made an argument that Parliament Question Time should have topped our list of the best TV shows, but there's only one show I could think of that matches the dog-eat-dog world of politics when it comes to infighting, backstabbing, and inflated egos. I'm, of course, talking about The Traitors, New Zealand. It's a show that somehow, inexplicably, / because it did not meet our incredibly strict criteria, did not qualify to be included in our list of the top 100 shows. And frankly, that is madness, because I think we all know that The Traitors New Zealand, which has definitely only had one season that aired this year and not a celebrity version that aired last year, is the best New Zealand show, possibly of all time. And I also think I should just point out at this point that I'm also in Halloween costume tonight. I came as the most terrifying thing I could think of on short notice, which was Paul Henry, sort of around circa 2010 when things started to get a bit tense. But I thought I should lay out my credentials and explain why you should trust me, a news reporter, to lecture you on great television. I have a degree in law, and as you can also see on the slide, I have unimpeachable opinions, such as that Levin is the greatest town in New Zealand, which I think those examples show that I represent two of the most trustworthy professions possibly in the whole world. And choosing a career in the lucrative industry of journalism over the law also shows, I think, that I am of sound mind. So I also think it's worth pushing back on the most obvious counter-argument to my whole presentation, which is that I am suffering from recency bias. I realise that of all the shows that have been talked about tonight, The Traitors New Zealand is the one that probably the most of you in this audience have seen or are familiar with. But all I will say is The Godfather was at one point brand new. The Mona Lisa was at one point brand new. Everything great had to be brand new at one point. You just need to be brave enough to recognise it. And I am brave. But for those who have somehow avoided watching the show, here's a little overview. It follows a group of strangers as they work to unmask the secret traitors in their midst. Each night the traitors get a chance to kill one of the innocent faithful, and then the whole group has an opportunity to banish someone they believe to be a traitor. At the end of it all lies a big cash prize. It's effectively a big game of mafia in a big creepy house with a seemingly endless supply of alcohol and a maniacal host. It's a little bit like Christmas with your extended family, but you just don't have to be there, which is kind of the best way for it to be. But I thought we'd just watch the trailer for the only season of the show that has existed. There was not a celebrity version that aired last year, just so that you can get familiar.
You have shed all that you know and all that makes you comfortable to be here. Who you choose to trust will decide your fate and possibly your funeral. Let the mind games begin.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit scared. If push comes to shove, you'll lie.
I don't really know these people.
You'll kill.
Absolutely.
Something started to feel a little bit suspect.
There's one person for me stood out straight away.
I'll put it brutally, I'm more than happy to f*** up.
It's up to you to uncover and banish the traitors. Get them before they get you.
The Traitors NZ.
I mean, how good, right? And yeah, you know what? I reckon standing ovation anyway. No. And, some of you may say that I'm biased because I applied to be on the show. I thought, look, let's just roll the audition tape. Oh, shit, sorry. File not found. But, look, I didn't get a call back. I'm still waiting. If Warner Brothers comes through, I'd like another season, please. And I am happy to submit this presentation as my audition. But let's talk about some of the key reasons why The Traitors is so good. Well, firstly, it's made up of a cast of entirely normal people. And in my opinion, all television would be better if there were just normal folk on it. Aren't you sick of actors, or for that matter, comedians, clogging up our television with their drama school qualifications and their polished talent when you could watch Auckland professional game master Mark starring in basically anything. Yeah, that's good. Some good special effects. I know that by using this criteria, I am effectively just arguing that all television should be reality TV, and yes, that is exactly what I am doing. But then there is also the drama. New Zealand has undoubtedly produced some excellent television drama over the years. There's After the Party, Outrageous Fortune, other shows starring Robin Malcolm. But the drama in The Traitors New Zealand is, I think, unmatched. It doesn't need Robin Malcolm, though I would watch Robin Malcolm on The Traitors. There's already enough backstabbing, scheming, and whatever the fuck this is. But was there any moment on television in the past, I'm going to say 100 years, more dramatic than when Mark figured out who the traitors were, then turned down the chance to join them so that he could avoid being sacrificed himself? Or, and this is quite a big spoiler here, which, so avert your ears, but, when underdog Bailey turned traitor, connived her way to the top, backstabbed her friends along the way. But The Traitors is also funny. It's a dramedy, if you will. It doesn't take itself too seriously, like the time that old Gulpy Jane was accused of being a traitor because she took some suspiciously large sips of water during a banishment, which was actually accurate. And where else could you see a show that has a crucial plot point hang off whether Whitney could identify a cow's lung while blindfolded and then be eliminated for guessing it was a pig's trotter, which somehow was a sign that maybe she was lying about her real-life job as a funeral director? I do realise that for anyone not familiar with the show, this does sound made up, but it is as batshit and incredible as it sounds. But we haven't talked about the one person who perhaps does take himself quite seriously on the show and is absolutely not a regular person. And that is, of course, Paul Henry. Whatever you make of him, he was, I think, made to host this show, and that's not just because I was once held hostage in his wine cellar for several hours drinking free gin. Though, while we're here, I would like to thank some of the sponsors of tonight's event. The Henry Gin, available where all good drinks are sold. It's not gin if it's not the Henry. But what ties all of these threads together, from the plotting, the outright craziness, through to why a semi-cancelled broadcaster could somehow redeem himself? It's the format of the show. It wouldn't work without a format that's just so well honed and allows for everything that I've talked about and so much more. There are plenty of other excellent reality TV shows that we've made in New Zealand, and there is an alternate reality where I am up here proudly defending New Zealand's Next Top Model. But The Traitors New Zealand, I think, excels above all of them. The contestants on the show aren't being deprived of food or creature comforts like they would be on Celebrity Treasure Island. They are being deprived of their sanity. And it is human nature to find that incredibly compelling. And so I am very confident to rest my case and say that The Traitors New Zealand is the best New Zealand TV show of all time.
Thank you so much, Stuart. Very compelling. Now, am I right in thinking the producer of The Traitors is in the audience tonight? No?
Reveal yourself.
Okay.
Why'd you set me up like that?
No, the ultimate traitor. It's one of yous.
This is being recorded, though. So.
This is being recorded. We will see. I know, very compelling and amazing to watch things from several months ago that feel like they're from 5 years ago.
Yeah, it's sort of defined the whole year for me, this show.
That'd be up there. Very convincing. Okay. We're up to our final presentation. Star of Shortland Street, Double Parked, Educators. Please ready yourself for a television education from Kura Forrester.
Kia ora. I'd like to start this evening by explaining that during the lead up to tonight's prestigious event, I wasn't really sure what we were doing. No shade at all on the lovely organisers and the comms and emails that I received, but in essence, I didn't really know what this was. And it's quite lovely to be finding out now in real time. I love the spin-off, it sounded fun, so I was like, sure. But what I didn't know was the list was a work in progress. And the top secret list that I saw on Friday, October 4th, Shortland Street was well down the bottom in the 60s. It was in the 60s. And I made the fatal mistake of telling my best friend, who is also the head writer of Shortland Street, that it was at the bottom of the list. And she said, and I quote, "I'm starting a fucking petition." Also during this time of seeing the list early on, I was very pleased to see that both Double Parked and Golden Boy were sitting solidly in the middle to the bottom of the list. And I stand before you today now appalled that neither of these shows that I personally poured my heart and soul into are on the final list. especially Double Park, which is actually good. So I'd like to start my speech by saying, if I knew what we were doing, I would be here fighting for Double Park. But instead, I've also come in costume as Lily from Double Park, played by Kura Wharatia. So now that I do know what we're doing, tonight I am honoured and delighted to be putting my case forward for the beloved show Super City, that currently sits at a measly 56 when I believe it should be at least 9th. Like many of you, I am a long-time admirer of Madeline Sami's work, and I have looked up to her in many ways. If you've ever enjoyed my work, which clearly the spin-off hasn't, because Double Parked is not on the list, it's fair to say my success is all thanks to Madeline paving the way. I've learnt a lot of things from her, especially as a result of losing out to her on many, many, many occasions for a TV role. Like the time I auditioned for The Bad Seed, which sits at number 93, I believe, on our list. And I saw Madeline in the street once I realised that she'd been cast in the role. And I said, do you think you could just tell me what you did in the audition? And she had no problem acting out the whole thing as that policewoman. And I was like, I should have done it like that. For those of you who aren't familiar with Super City, shame on you, and here's a clip.
Who is Pasha Patel? Well, she's a party girl, / cheerleader, / actress.
Yes, sex attack, like, I am Azim. Iran like my mother, New Zealand like my new beautiful wife. So much nature and big bush. Smash it! Smash it! Oh, love penises. You know, some girls are like, too big. I'm like, nah, check it in, bro.
What we're looking for is a young artist, preferably from an impoverished background. I'm Linda. Linda.
Hey!
Are you talented?
Just give me 1 second, it's gonna look really... There's everything you want in this city. There's fat, there's skinny, there's homeless, there's ugly, there's rich, there's poor. I love you.
Babe, those hot pants are too small for you.
Just a bit bloated is all.
Probably pregnant.
Holy shit.
Hey! Fuck!
Uncalled for. Now this is your new home, okay?
What are you doing?
I want to make love to you,
John.
Nick. Come on.
Next level. Next level. Next level.
Yeah.
Catchphrase alert.
I love this city, the super city.
P.S. Like, if for this wench part, like, there's any sort of like nudity or something, like maybe if the wench goes to a party and there's like a, I don't know, gangbang or something, and like the actor like had to penetrate me, I'd be totally fine with that. I wouldn't sue.
Sure, Madeline's great, but I'll just get back to me for a second. I have appeared in 9 out of the 100 shows on this list, so I do feel qualified to make this point. I've worked on Madam, Fine Man Māori Bride, Jono and Ben, Educators, Guy Mont's Spelling Bee, Aroha Bridge, Funny Girls, 7 Days, and of course the reason I'm here today, Super City. And in my opinion, Super City is the funniest, funnest set you could ever work on. In fact, it makes me think perhaps next time we make a list like this, that should be one of the criterias. What was the vibe like on set? Because fuck me, I could tell you a few stories about some other sets. But my time on Super City, including getting to go to Rainbow's End before it had opened, you know, like for the day, and getting to go on all the rides with nobody else there. If that doesn't deserve a top 10, I don't know what else does. I remember auditioning for Super City and Tom Sainsbury saying to me, now there aren't many people going for this role. We just have to get something on tape. It was my first ever taste of nepotism in the industry, and I was hooked. Another reason Super City should be in the top 10 is because she cast all of her crack-up mates in it. Madeline Sami is always on. This show is the perfect place for her to put all of that energy. The directors of Super City Season 2, Taika Waititi and Oscar Kitely, have done pretty well, I think. But Oscar Kitely asked me when I was at Rainbow's End if I could sit on the in the front of the roller coaster and look neutral and bored on my date. And I think you'll agree with me that I nailed it. So just a reminder, I was supposed to look neutral and bored.
We're doing that hot dog, eh?
I can see some carrots in there. You like carrots too? I love carrots.
Let's go on the corkscrew again.
Oh, okay. Maybe we should sit down or something.
Thank you. Nailed it. Another reason this show needs to be in the top 10 is because it is the first and last time anyone will ever see me in a white bodycon dress. Super City is a tour de force performance pitched perfectly in a time when it was fine to play ethnicities outside of your own. A la Chris Lilly, right? But at least Mads is actually brown. Simpler times. Some more reasons to like this show is because of Azim, Pasha, Joe, Linda, Georgie, Levi, Mary, Roy, and my favourite character of all time, the benefit case manager, with little sympathy for those who need state help and always ready to provide unorthodox advice, Ofa Whakaapa-apa.
New rule. No more benefits for over 70s. If they can stand, they can wear a sandwich board. You see that out there? That's rain. That's God's way of crying. Because he's disappointed with your performance this month. Sunny, ideas. Shit ideas. Stop giving sickness benefits to depressives. If you can feel sad, you can write songs. Shit idea. Keep the money. For the government. Good.
And clearly, politically, it was ahead of its time. Some other reasons I believe Super City should be higher up the list. Some of the top 10 shows that it's better than. It's way more entertaining than Neighbours at War. It's funnier than Funny Girls, and she's only one girl. It's funnier than Brotown, and she's only one bro. It's got way more drama than Ahikaroa. It's definitely funnier than Jono and Ben. I'm fucking serious about that one. Madeline Sami could make Jono and Ben in her sleep. Jono and Ben is at 35 and Super City is at 56. Madeline won Best Performance by an Actress at the 2011 NZTV Awards for this show. Tom Sainsbury wears a lip ring in it. And my final point is that Pasha, the character Pasha, taught all of us, our humble actors in New Zealand, how to use the standard American accent, and this is you ask any actor in New Zealand to do a standard American, and they will quote this very clip.
Who's there? Huh? Who is there? Speak up, Gotcham, or I'll stab your tit off. Right off.
It's I, Sappho of Lesbos.
Oh my God, what a relief.
It is I, Sappho of Lesbos.
Oh my God, Sappho, is that really you? I can't believe it, I'm blind now, so I couldn't see you. So I was relying on my hearing and my smell. Oh, sorry.
What's that accent you sound? Sounds like forced.
I thought you sounded fine, Lucy Lola.
No, you. The crone. Yeah.
Mate, it's just American, standard American. American. Hello, how are you? Want a Bay Girl? Do you want me to do like New York? Is that what the problem is? Is this a New York-based Greek thing? Or like, for example, I'm on the street and a cab goes past me and I go, hey, I was walking there!
Thank you. A vote for me is a vote for Double Parked and Madeline Sami and all females in comedy. Thank you.
Oh my God. Wow. Thank you, Claire. That was exceptional. God, how fun is TV? I can't believe it is time to vote. Do we have some dramatic music up above? Thank you, Te Ai here. So what we're going to do is an applause-o-meter, which I'm real worried about.
It works.
So one by one, we're going to flash each presenter on screen. I'll say their name, you clap for the show that you think should take home the title. I ask, please clap a little bit for everyone. I'm so worried about this. Okay, can we get the first, oh God, okay, yeah, let's do it. First up, it's me. Next up, Lyric Waiwiri Smith. Rhiannon McCall. Strong. Stuart Simon Lund.
Wow.
And finally, Kura Forrester. Okay. I thought we might need to go upstairs, but I don't think we have to.
I've got quite a few friends in the audience.
Thank you, friends.
It's the key to these things. You got to feel
Okay. Do we have the graphic ready? This is happening live. This is like Finding J. Smith. Are we ready? Congratulations, Kura Forrester, on behalf of Super City! And Double Parked, and all women in comedy. Thank you so much. Okay, well that's it. Thank you everyone so much for coming along to this live podcast recording. Thank you so much to all our TV lovers, Rhiannon McCall, Kura Forrester, Lyric Waiwiri Smith, Stuart Simon Lund. Big thank you as well to everyone who worked very hard on this. There was a lot of little techie bits, as you can probably tell. So I have to thank Isaiah Tor, Te Ai Butler up there, Madeline Chapman, Tina Tiller, and all the staff at Q Theatre. Our next event, which is coming up, is the Year in Review right here at Q Theatre on Wednesday, the 11th of December. Join Anna Rafiti Kono, who's right here in the front row. And special guests as they do the terrifying thing of looking back at 2024. But from us, that's all. Thank you so much for coming along. Have a good night.
Talofa Lover. I'm Madeline Chapman, editor at The Spinoff. If you have the means, consider supporting our high-quality journalism by becoming a Spinoff member. Sign up now at thespinoff.co.nz/donate.
Kia ora, this is Toby Manhire, here to urge you to tune in to Gone by Lunchtime, a podcast with me, Annabelle Lee Mather and Ben Thomas, tackling the world of New Zealand politics, from policy to polling, from scandal to psychodrama. Listen to Gone by Lunchtime, brought to you by the Spinoff Podcast Network, wherever good pods are sold.
Do you find it hard staying optimistic with all the financial news in the media? I'm Bernard Hickey, and on my podcast, When the Facts Change, I'm here to help you navigate the ever-changing landscape of economics in Aotearoa. So join the conversation every Friday on When the Facts Change, brought to you by the Spinoff Podcast Network in partnership with KiwiBit.
The Spinoff Podcast Network.